Like the NFL is crazy.
It's crazy
I don't know if
town.
it's parody or what it is. But what observations? What's jumped out at you in the NFL?
Just we're at the point where there's a complete lack of power structure in this league, and that I don't find that. I think that makes it less interesting as a fan. I mean, I don't understand why you follow this league on a week in, week out basis, because it's just this endless sea of teams being up and down, and it's hard to make sense of it. And we're just talking about this. I wonder if what's happened in Dallas, where they just have fallen through the black hole in space, I wonder if that isn't evidence of maybe a kind of a testament to the quality of play in the NFL, where everybody is so decent, or at least capable of being decent on a given at times. That
any given Sunday,
that a team that quits. That quit is an oversimplification, but the Dallas Cowboys completely have collapsed, and look how far they've fallen. Maybe it's because the overall quality is pretty high. I think that makes as much sense to me as anything else.
I don't think there's a whole lot that separates it out there. What's interesting in the Dallas situation, when I brought it up to you, is firing Wade Phillips. There's been talk of that for a couple of weeks. In the last 2 weeks, the guy looks like he's just lost it out there. He needed to be replaced. But he was also the defensive coordinator, and their defense wasn't playing that well. So you got to have somebody replace the defensive coordinator as well as the head coach. They replaced him with Jason Garrett, who was the offensive coordinator. So now you have to have somebody who's going to be the offensive coach because Garrett's doing head coaching jobs. Or is he going to do both? But then again, the offense wasn't doing that well either. So this is just a really interesting move.
One of the things that I was hearing about Dallas going way back into maybe even the last year is that they're kind of a team that has two coordinators, but doesn't really have anybody who functions as the head coach.
Right.
And that sort of fits with some of what you see in that team. And in effect, you are cutting the numbers in your coaching staff by doing this, right? I mean, they just fired their defensive coordinator and their head coach.
Yeah.
It's weird, and the guy who deserves the blame for this is Jerry Jones.
Oh, yeah.
Without question, he created this goofy situation. And has there ever been in recent memory, a more underachieving team in the NFL?
Well, and he's made some smart moves with draft picks and some signings, but his ego has gotten in the way here because he's the one that wanted to have the control of the team. If he brings in a Bill Parcells, or when he had Jimmy Johnson there, they had to have control. They wanted to be buying, as the old thing Parcells said, they wanted to be buying the groceries, okay?
Yeah.
Jerry Jones won't allow that, so he had somebody like Wade Phillips who wasn't as strong. For that team to get good again, they're going to have to hire a John Gruden, a Marty Schottenheimer, somebody that's got power behind
I think they will. I think they'll go for a big name, and I think I suspect that Jerry Jones will realize a lot of what you just said. I'm not going to, think that he's a completely hopeless ogre, ego freak, that he will never have any sort of self-awareness, and I think this might turn it the other way.
Ego freak. I was surprised he didn't put on one of those blue hats with the white D on it and be down there in his suit coaching the team himself.
Yeah,
a la Ted Turner did years in the early 80s.
Clearly he's wanted to do that. And it wouldn't surprise me. But obviously he signs the paycheck, so he's not really accountable. But he's the guy to blame for this far more than anybody else.